You could take the roll call, sir.
Commissioner Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Baxter, Commissioner Bernard,
Here.
Vice Mayor Marino,
Here.
Mayor Sachs,
Here.
Commissioner Weiss, Commissioner
He's
Woodward.
here.
Thank you.
All right, we have a quorum. Sir, we're going to start. We're going to move now on to our regular agenda. And if I could refer you all to 5A1, which begins on page 42.
Mayor, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt 5A1.
Very good, and note that there is no cost to the county. Do I have a second?
Second.
I see a second from, I have 2 seconds, Commissioners Weiss and Commissioners Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously. Thank you, that was fast, wasn't it, gentlemen? Patrick, and I could, I want to just make sure that we take care of the issue at Mission Bay with the water. Okay, thank you, sir. Now we're looking at 5B1, airports, 5B1A. And I think we can go right on to Ms. County Attorney, A and B on a motion, unless there, if we have, I know that I saw Ms. Baby here. Do we need a staff report on this, or can we proceed?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 5B1A and B.
Very good. We have a second from Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. Nice job, Laura. Nice job. Moving right along to 5C1A
And B.
and B.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 5C1A and B.
Very good. We have a first, we have a second from Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. You see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-0. Thank you. Nice job. Nice job. Good to see you. And then we have 5D1, A and B.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve item 5D1A and B.
Good. I have a first. I have a second by Commissioner, I have a first by Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. I just want the record to reflect, I had no idea we had a King Gary III here in our county. We must be a very important county. Now we have an add-on, and we do have a card. Or not? For the add-on? No. All right, we're going to move on to the add-on, which is 5D2. And we have a receive and file on 5D2A and B. And we have staff here on that issue as well. I have a question of staff. Does anybody else have a question or comment on this? Okay.
Actually.
Now, on this issue, well, first let me hear from the attorney first.
Madam Mayor, it was my understanding that on 5D2B, 5D2B.
Right, that's right, that's great.
What do you know? I think that they were going to postpone that item till the 22nd. I may be incorrect on that. We need to ask staff how they wanted to handle that.
Okay. Ms. Baker, you're recognized.
We've actually pushed this forward. It's really, if the board wants us to delay it, and I'm looking at the item that deals with TV and its temporary utilization. If the board wants to delay that portion, we'll bring that back when we come back with the contract on October 22nd, if that is the board's direction. But we will need to take that action because we will not be in a position to complete the transaction with Vanderbilt without that release. Now, there could be some other deals behind that, but we're going to need to have that clear title. That is why we're bringing it to you. And I think on September 17th, when this, was it 17th? September, when we brought it to the board before?
We provided comments at that point, but that motion was
Was in
not
there.
discussed.
My concern is that it's an add-on. I remember that motion. I probably was part of that discussion to have a status today on October 8th. But I do recognize that the whole contract will come back before the board on October 22nd. Is that what you're saying, Ms. Baker?
Yes.
And is that
That's
your
correct.
understanding, Ms. County Attorney?
That's correct.
Okay, I don't know which number came up here first. I have 3 lights, so let me go to Commissioner Woodward first.
Thank you, Mayor. Just, could we hear a brief report from staff about the?
Yes, we
Where
will.
we are in the negotiation? And
We are.
then whether, the timing of Part B of this amendment, I'd like to just have staff give us a little guidance on that, please.
That would be good, and I'm sure she will. Now, Commissioner Weiss and then Vice Mayor Marino. Okay, very good. And Vice Mayor Marino?
Thank you. I know we had a lot of folks that were here before the lunch break that were interested in this discussion. I don't know if they are in the line to get back in, but I'd appreciate it if they were here all morning waiting for us for this topic. Could we make sure that if they're in
I
before
have
we
a
get started?
suggestion. Maybe, and you have a very well-placed point. Let's do this. If the board is okay with this, can we move on to the, at least for the appointments, to give these folks an opportunity to get through the line? Would that be fine, Vice Mayor? Okay.
You want to
Very
reorder the
good.
agenda?
Yes.
That's fine.
We're, and you don't have to go too far, Isme. You never do. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just proceed with the district appointments, if that's okay? I'm sorry, County Attorney?
I'm sorry, can we go ahead and get a motion to reorder the agenda so that we
I'll
have
make
it
a motion, we
technically?
reorder the agenda to
Second
take
that.
6A1 first.
Oh, very good. And all those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Okay, we're just going to reorder it, so let's go on to district appointments at this time. And looking at,
Actually, you have to go to 6A1 first.
I have a district appointment, but I'll wait till, Vice Mayor Marino, you've got your light on, go right ahead.
Well, before district appointments, it says administration 6A1, so that would be before
Very
commissioner.
good.
So I
We
just,
can go right ahead with board appointments first, and then we'll go district appointments. So looking at 6A1, we have a motion to approve that could be pending here on the appointment of 1 member to the Healthcare District for a period of 4 years, beginning on October 8th, today, and ending September 30th, 2028. So we have 2 names, and what I can do is, if you'd like, Vice Mayor Marino, would you like to speak at all on behalf of your appointee or not?
I was asked to submit Joe Gibbons' name, and I happily did. I know he's a qualified gentleman, but I see that we have another person here, so whoever's best for the job, and we as a board will choose that. So I'm all in favor of whomever the board chooses.
Very good, thank you. There's also Julio Boreto, from, who's a Palm Beach County resident, and he was nominated by myself and Commissioner Baxter, and I received an email this morning saying that he's also recommended by the firefighters. So, Commissioner Baxter, did you have anything to say on behalf of your nominee?
Just that I believe he would do a great job, so whomever the board chooses.
Okay, very good. Okay, anybody
So,
else wish to
Mayor, I'll
opine
make
on this
the-
subject?
I'll make the motion to,
To appoint, and then
To appoint
what
him.
we're going to do, and I'm looking at our clerk, Maverick, right? That we take a vote on each one, and then the one who gets the highest? Higher? Yeah, pardon me?
Why don't we just have each commission member choose one and go down the line.
That would be fine. We'll do a roll call vote. Go right ahead, sir.
Commissioner Bernard,
Julio A. Barato.
Commissioner Weiss,
Barato.
Commissioner Woodward,
Barato.
Commissioner Barnett,
Julio Barato.
Commissioner Baxter,
Julio A. Barato.
Vice Mayor Marino,
I'll go with the board. Mr. Barato.
Mayor Sachs.
Julio Barato.
7 votes for Julio Barato.
Very good. Congratulations, Mr. Barato. And that is the will of the board. Let's go ahead with our commission district appointments. And I'm going to start to my left side with Commissioner Barnett. Do you have any district appointments?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no district appointments.
And Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to appoint Aaron Warmus to the Citizen Committee on Airport Noise and Josie Makovic on the Advisory Commission on Women.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Weiss?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to reappoint Shannon Materio to the Advisory Commission on Women.
Very good. And Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'd like to reappoint Bishop Walter O'Shea Granger to the Sports Commission, and I'd like to reappoint Mr. Mohammed Albana to the Discover the Palm Beaches, Inc. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. And Commissioner Baxter?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to appoint Annie Eiffel to the Library Advisory Board.
Thank you. And Vice Mayor Marino?
Thank you. I'd like to reappoint Mr. Andrew George to the Discover the Palm Beaches Advisory Board.
Very good. And the mayor's office would like to appoint Lori Vinegar to the Water Utilities Department Advisory Board. Very nice. All right, we're moving along nicely. We're going to go now on to staff comments.
I have our board directives. I would like to highlight, because it wasn't in here, but the commission staff salaries and titles are complete. Staff, we should have been in touch with each of you to identify who your chief of staff would be. There was assumption made that shouldn't have been made. So we've cleaned that up, and that has been completed. Our solar panel policy update, staff is in the process of reviewing it with our codes and will report out to the board no later than the November workshop. Named road, Lake Lido Park Drive, roadsides are anticipated to be installed by the end of October. And then the term of the supervisor of elections, staff is in the process of finalizing their review of that and will report out to the board as soon as possible. And then I'd ask the board to receive and file the remainder of the directives.
Got a first and a second by Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously.
Mayor, may I
7
be recognized?
to 0. Who's speaking? Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Could we have the maker restated for the record, please? Thank you.
Did you get the first and the second, Mr. Clerk? Very good. Okay, very nice. And County Attorney.
Good afternoon. I would just like to remind the board of something that you all know, but whenever there is pending litigation with the county, we strongly recommend that the board not engage in discussion or conversation regarding that litigation in a context where it may come back up again against you. The litigation will resolve itself. There is a mediation process in litigation. And just to remind the board, in case there are constituents who ask to discuss it with you, that we always recommend that you not discuss it and/or have a member of council with you while you listen, but not discuss. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mrs. Turner. Anything else? You've been very helpful today. Thank you. Okay, let's go on now to comments by the commissioners. And this time I'll start on my right, Commissioner Baxter. Any commissioner comments?
Mayor, I would like to request an off-site proclamation for Farm City Week on November 20th.
I believe we need a vote on that? I don't think so, but I didn't hear what you said. What?
I'm requesting an off-site proclamation for Farm City Week,
Okay,
the
very
week
good.
of November 20th.
Very good. We have a first, we have a second from Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Anything else, Commissioner Baxter? Okay, Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. She's not in here right now, but we recently took in a new intern for our office, and her name is Ivory Polk. Although we're going to recognize her, but she had to leave. But I just want to welcome Ivory Polk as our new intern in our office. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. I want to share with the board on last Friday, I had an opportunity to visit the University Marine, University Marine Science Lab down in Boca, and seeing the research work that they're doing down there, and as always, just amazed by the great work that's being done at FAU and the work they're doing in terms of the research on turtles and their habitat, and they're an important part of Palm Beach County as well, so appreciate them doing that. Yesterday, again, was October 7th of 2024. That is, of course, the anniversary of the horrendous event in Israel and the slaughter of almost 1,200 Israelis. And had an opportunity, I want to thank the Federation hosting an event last night. Over 2,000 people attended. It's been a difficult year for Israel. It's been a difficult year for any of the Jewish people here in this country as well.
No.
And I think we're all hopeful that this can be resolved and this fighting can end, but they need to bring home the hostages. They've got to get them home. And so appreciate all the support the community has given. And then lastly, I also want to speak to our Haitian American community. There was statements made regarding potential or members of the Haitian American community, in this case specifically in Ohio, regarding eating animals. I just want to make sure that they understand we have a large, wonderful Haitian American community here in South Florida. I just want them to know we have their back, that they are supported here, that we know that those reports were not true, and they're an important part of our fabric here in Palm Beach County. They're an important part of our community, and I'm proud to have the Haitian American community here. And my heart goes out for anything that had happened to them, any terrible things that have been said. So I just want to recognize my support. And then lastly, we had a town hall last Friday over at Century Village in discussion of the possible purchase of the LaQuinta Hotel as a place for senior housing. And I know we have a number of folks here that are going to be wanting to speak to us on matters by the public, but I appreciate staff coming out, explaining what they're, if in fact they're successful with this in bringing back a proposal to us, and making sure that we understand what they're proposing operationally, as well as the proposal itself and the purchase. And then my last thing is I'm requesting an off-site approval for a proclamation declaring October 2024 as 7/11 Community Engagement Month.
Okay, we have a second.
Thank you.
7-11. Second, Commissioner Baxter. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner, for those remarks. Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to request an off-site proclamation celebrating the 10th anniversary of Barky Pines Animal Rescue and Sanctuary, where we also got little Fritz. So,
Aw, that's Fritz's
Thank you.
home.
yes.
Those four, Fritz? Anybody opposed? See that it
Don't
passes
oppose Fritz.
unanimously.
Yeah.
7-0.
I would also like another off-site proclamation declaring November 7th, 2024 as Signature Gives Back Third Annual Volunteer Day.
We have a second from Commissioner Weiss. All those four. Anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimous.
Thank you.
7-0.
And I'd just like to say to all of our citizens out there, we did just have a press conference. A lot of the mayor spoke. We had our administrator, a number of county, giving us very good advice on what's coming in the next couple of days to stay safe, stay calm, where no one needs to panic, although South Florida or South County is out of gas right now, but there is gas in Broward, my husband just told me. Hopefully this is a good practice run for us with our hurricane preparedness skills, and we will be able to help our fellow citizens in the other part of the state, and hopefully ourselves are unscathed by this. But everyone, please stay safe and dry.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Woodward. Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you, Mayor. Hoping and praying that we all get through this upcoming storm safe and sound. And when we do, I expect to see everyone at the American German Club on Saturday celebrating Oktoberfest. Enjoy the bratwurst and lots of beer. It's going to be a great time. It always is. And I have the honor of tapping the keg. Thank you very much to the American German Club for that honor once again. I want to thank Ismay and Facilities for working to get that project over at PBS. So headquarters completed. It's important that our law enforcement personnel who work at headquarters have a safe and secure parking lot to come in and out of every single day. Thank you for that. With regards to the Office of Equal Business Opportunity, one thing that wasn't brought up I wanted to mention briefly was the process. I'd love not a workshop, but if someone might be willing to come to my office from the agency to discuss the process of granting contracts and bids to primes versus subcontractors. We've had some complaints brought to my attention that they feel that there's a preference given to contractors, and the rules are created in a way as to benefit general contractors, primes, as opposed to subcontractors. Want to see if there is validity to those complaints and what we can do to rectify it sooner rather than later. Well, I would appreciate that. Thank you. It's great to see everybody here today. It shows that even in bad weather, people who care about issues are willing to show up and discuss them. And they did that here today, and we did that last night in Lake Clark Gardens. I want to give a shout out to the board of directors and the residents of Lake Clark Gardens who came to my town hall meeting yesterday. I also want to thank Ed Chase and Casey Denny for presenting a presentation on the condo assessments, the special assessments issue that are affecting condo residents across my district and Palm Beach County. It was a full house. We had almost 120 people there. We collected petitions, 116 petitions last night, people who are heeding our call to the legislature and the governor to open up a special session of the legislature to find a solution to grant condo owners relief from these assessments and the fees that they're having to pay. Thousands and thousands of dollars. I talk to residents who own condos in my district, and they tell me all the time their neighbors on the third floor or next door have already had to sell, already leaving the area because they just can't afford to pay the tripling and quadrupling of their condo fees. There was a woman who, her family gave us permission to share her really tragic story. She was a 96-year-old woman who didn't know what to do. She was not willing to burden her family or friends with this expense that she was burdened with, and tragically, she felt no other option other than to take her own life. Really, I mean, this is real as it gets. And this is a problem we in the county didn't create. And we're going to be pressuring our friends in Tallahassee, and I'm encouraging all of you to reach out to your representatives and senators and the governor's office and ask them and demand that they get together, whether at the organizational meeting after the election or at a special session sometime before the end of the year, to convene and find a solution. We've already, at the board level, discussed potential solutions, but we need more time. It all starts with the legislature moving this January 1st deadline at least a year or maybe 2 years out to give us a chance to fix this problem and give condo owners relief in my district and throughout Palm Beach County and everywhere in Florida where condo owners are threatened with eviction or losing their homes or having to sell or end up on the streets. What else do I have? Yep. It's going to be a dangerous storm, but it looks like we may get some wind, right?
A little bit.
Minimal winds, but still, not minimal winds. It's
minimal.
not going to be minimal. What we're going to experience here is not to be taken lightly. Please listen to our administrator. We did participate in a press conference upstairs about half an hour ago. Listen to your elected officials and the government officials when they tell you this is a dangerous storm, not just for the folks on the West Coast, but right here in Palm Beach County. We'll see you on October 12th at the festival. Be safe, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnett. And now Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you. Yes, please be safe. And for all of you that are trying to go buy water, may I suggest that you fill every Yeti container that you have in your house, every plastic container that you have in your house, fill them with water. 2 reasons. One is it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to go to the store and wait in line to buy. And 2, you don't have to worry about recycling plastic. We have plenty of containers in our homes that we can do this. I did a video a couple years ago, and I had all of the containers all lined up in my kitchen. I could have filled a bathtub, actually more. So please do that before you go running to the store and buying water in plastic jars, plastics that you have to then recycle. Please be safe. Please make sure you have ice for your medication. I know that's something that a lot of times people seem to forget, is that if you have medication and it needs to be cold, make sure you have ice. If you haven't already taken ice and put it in a Yeti cooler and made some more ice, go ahead and do that. So prepare like we're going to get a storm. Keep your fingers crossed that we don't get the worst impact of this storm. Please all be safe. Please stay off the roads. Don't worry if your driveway floods a little bit, if your street floods a little bit. I live in PGA National. Our driveways flood. It was actually designed to do that. That's the lowest part of the road is the bottom of our driveway. Just please be safe and don't walk in the water. Don't play in the water. If you're going to, please wear boots. Be safe. Be cautious. And you know what? Look in on your neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And from the Mayor's office, at the September 10th BCC meeting for the Canvassing Board alternative member seat to Commissioner Weiss, Mr. Irvin Jakobitz was appointed to serve in that capacity for the 2024 November general election. We would also like to extend the capacity for Mr. Jakobitz to serve as an alternate member to Vice Mayor Maria Marino, who was appointed to serve in the capacity as a substitute member of the Canvassing Board for the 2024 November general election. In addition, we would also like to appoint Mr. Robert Shalob, who previously served for 31 years as a member of the Lake Clark Shores Town Council, and also served as past president of Palm Beach County League of Cities as an alternate member to both Commissioner Greg Weiss and Vice Mayor Maria Marino on the Canvassing Board for the 2024 general election in November. So if I could have a motion for both of those appointments, we could go ahead and take a vote on that now. Do I? Thank you. I have Commissioner Weiss makes a motion, and a second by the Vice Mayor. All those for. Anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Commissioner Barnett.
My apologies, Mayor. I neglected to request 2 off-site proclamations, if I may do so.
No, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to request approval for an off-site proclamation declaring October 15th, 2024 as White Cane Safety Day.
Very good. And do I have a second? I do, from Commissioner Baxter. All those for. Anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0.
Thank you. And the second one, I'd like to request approval for an off-site proclamation honoring the Craig S. Bernard American Inns of Court.
Very good. I'll have a second from Commissioner Bernard. I don't know, is that proper? I see, it's Barnard, not Bernard. We have a second from Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously, 7-0. And that does it, Commissioner Bernard. And I just want to say that October 7th was the other day, 2024, but as the former ambassador to the United States of Israel said, every October 7th is 2023. It has been the worst attack since the Holocaust on Jewish people, and it continues today. I'm very fortunate to have been married into a Holocaust family, and this is very personal to me, to my children and our grandchildren. We are experiencing anti-Semitism in this country and in this county. And let the record reflect, I will not, and neither will our sheriff or any law enforcement, tolerate any acts of anti-Semitism at any time in this county. They will be met, yes. We are better. We are better than that, and we will protect our people, no matter what religion or race they are. But this will not ever be tolerated here in Palm Beach County. And that is a day that we'll never forget. Now, I wish it was better news, but this Milton 5, I just got a report. Milton is that hurricane that's coming across from the Gulf, and it is intensifying because of the hot seas, the humid air, and the wind shear. Now, we're not going to get a direct hit as we sit here today, but we will be affected. And I urge everyone to do everything that is necessary to protect yourselves, your pets, your families, and your neighbors. This is not our first rodeo. We've been through hurricanes before. And we also know that the two best words is the Boy Scouts, right? Be prepared. Be prepared. And we will be prepared. We have a telephone number. If you lose internet, you can always call us and get any information that you may need as to shelters or anything that you may need for emergency services. Know that your county government is here for you. And with that note, we're going to go back to our regular agenda. We skipped a part, and if we could do that, Madam County Attorney, we will at this time.
Yes,
I think
5D2.
it was, correct me if I'm incorrect, 5D2, which is an add-on, and I believe the last person speaking on that, if you wish to continue, was the Vice Mayor. But do we want to hear a report from staff on this? Okay, very good. Identify yourself and who's in the staff, and we'll get started.
Happy to do so. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Isami Ajala, Assistant County Administrator and Director for Facilities Development and Operations. With me today is Howard Falcon, Chief Assistant County Attorney. The item that this board has in front of it for its consideration, my apologies, has two motions. A motion to receive and file our staff report regarding the status of the negotiations with Vanderbilt University towards the execution of a development and conveyance agreement for the development of an educational campus, which will include approximately 5 acres of county-owned property located in the city of West Palm Beach, what we call the Government Hill area. This item also recommends that staff be authorized to revoke the license agreement for the use of county-owned property, which was granted to Transit Village LLC for the use of a portion of those properties called Government Hill that will be eventually, if the board approves, conveyed to Vanderbilt University. With that said, allow me first to provide you an update as it relates to the negotiations with Vanderbilt. Since we were provided direction by this board back in August 2024, a total of 8 negotiation meetings have taken place with our counterparts from Vanderbilt. As of last Friday, we're happy to report we have reached conceptual agreement in all open matters that were under discussion. We continue to draft, but once you have reached an agreement, conceptual agreement on where you're heading, then drafting, as you all can imagine, becomes easier, right? So we are refining that document. We're jointly working towards having that agreement in a final form for consideration by this board during the October 22nd, 2024 regular meeting. We have received the updated appraisals for the properties. You may remember that when this board approved the agreement with the University of Florida for the same real estate holdings, we had appraisals done. At that time, the property had appraised around $42 million. The revised appraisals point to a property value of $46 million. That is basically a 9% increase. In compliance with the requirements of the county's real estate property acquisition, disposition, leasing ordinance, which we commonly know as the PREM ordinance, we have scheduled a meeting for the Property Review Committee to take place on October 17, 2024, at which time they will have an opportunity to proceed per ordinance requirements and make a recommendation to this board as to the potential transaction with Vanderbilt University. So that's basically where we stand as it relates to negotiations with the university. The second motion, as I stated before, is a staff request to be authorized to revoke the license agreement for the use of county-owned property, which was granted to Transit Village LLC for the use of a portion of those properties that we mentioned before. For parking purposes. If I am able to provide you a little bit of background on that regards, allow me to share that back on December 2nd, 2022, following board direction, we executed a license agreement for temporary storage, construction activities, and temporary parking in connection with the agreement for purchase and sale that the county and Transit Village had entered for development of what is known as the Wedge property. In order for the board to enter into a development and conveyance agreement with Vanderbilt University, the properties, the real estate holdings that are the subject of the agreement must be free from encumbrances, licenses, and or other type of obligations. In March 2024, Transit Village sued the county requesting specific performance under the purchase and sale agreement. That litigation remains active. On August 22nd, 2024, Transit Village sent a letter to staff notifying staff and the county of its willingness to work with the county and Vanderbilt to incorporate the license agreement into a potential development and conveyance agreement with Vanderbilt University. Given the active litigation between the county and Transit Village, the timeline for development of the Wedge property is uncertain, and staff ability to simultaneously engage with Transit Village and Vanderbilt is limited by the constraints resulting from the legal proceedings. Therefore, our recommendation to this board was via the agenda item that we be authorized to revoke that license agreement so that then the agreement with Vanderbilt can proceed. This concludes staff presentation, and as usual, we will take any questions as you deem it appropriate.
Thank you so much, Isami. I have a question, and maybe it's to Ms. Baker. This is an add-on. I don't have any issues with 5D2A regarding the status report of negotiations with Vanderbilt University. I do have an issue, Ms. Baker, with 5D2B, that we will take a vote on revoking a license agreement to an entity who may not have been given notice today to be here. And I understand that one may be tied to the other. However, it is tenuous for us as a board, in my opinion, to revoke a license agreement to an entity that is Transit Village LLC on an issue that they were not given notice to at all. And I know that the October 8th date, and I think it was my colleague and I, it was Commissioner Bernard and I really wanted October 8th, so I don't have any issue with the status on Vanderbilt. I do have a serious issue, legal issue, with revoking a license agreement for an entity that is part of an add-on and was not part of the irregular agenda as noted for today. How do we address this, Ms. Baker?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
thank
Ms.
you.
Kaufman.
I would ask staff, but I think that I've already confirmed that it would do no harm to let the revocation of the license agreement actually be done by this board on October 22nd. And that would be the day that the actual agreement is signed by this board. The agreement is well underway. There's no harm today in going ahead and doing the receive and file on the status update, and then allowing the actual revocation to occur on the 22nd, and that way everyone has plenty of notice and time.
Thank you, Ms. Kaufman. Commissioner Bernard?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. So what I would do is I'd make a motion to receive and file item 5D2A, and also to postpone the authorization of the revocation of the license agreement. And also, I would add to give proper notice to Transit Village of the revocation, so in that way they can be present at the October 22nd meeting.
I love that. Thank you so much, Commissioner Bernard. And before I hear a second, because I just heard it from the Vice Mayor, I'd like to call on Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. Due to the nature of the relationship with the other party in this postponement, will we be able to speak with county attorney staff to give us a better update? I mean, I've spoken with staff on some of this, but to make sure that we can have a full and candid time to have all of our questions answered before we're going to have a public meeting.
Absolutely.
Which-
And it's our position that this is a revocable license agreement. So we're just out of an abundance of courtesy and professionalism, providing some extra time.
Okay.
But yes, we can absolutely brief you individually and make sure that all your questions are answered.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Attorney. So we have a first by Commissioner Bernard, a second by the Vice Mayor, and the motion is to, well, Commissioner Bernard, do you want to restate it if necessary? Just, it's real simple. We're going to go ahead and,
Thank you, Madam Mayor, which is to receive and file item 5D2A and to postpone item 5D2B and to give notice to Transit Village of the revocation, and that the presentation would be on October 22nd.
very good. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Thank you so much. That was a good staff report. And if I haven't missed anything, then we are, I knew I was doing this. This is because of me. We did it. We are formally adjourned for the day. And now we are going to resume. Actually, we're not adjourned. We're in recess for 2 o'clock's Matters by the Public. And I don't think we need a break. I think we're ready to proceed, if that's okay with my colleagues. So we're going to proceed right now with Matters by the Public. Commissioner Weiss, do we have a couple of cards? 37. We have about 37 cards. So what we're going to do, and in light of the impending storm, what I'd like to suggest, and I'm going to leave this up to my colleagues, is if you all are on a certain issue, now listen up. If you're on a certain issue and you would like to have a spokesperson or persons speak on your behalf, then we could proceed like that rather than having, what's 3 minutes time, all that. We'll be here till tonight. And I didn't bring a sleeping bag. So what do you think, my colleagues? Could we have, if we had spokespersons, or we could have a 2-minute time? Then, sir? Okay, we could do that. Let me ask my colleagues. Shall we have a couple of spokespersons come up and speak on behalf of numerous residents here, and then the rest would do 2 minutes. Okay? Okay, so it seems like that's the appetite of the board. So let's do this. You will still have time to come up and speak if you're opposed or if you're for, but it would be much more meaningful if you had a couple of spokespersons come up and speak on behalf of many of you. Okay? And I'll extend the courtesy to your spokespersons of the entire 3 minutes. Okay? And then if you're opposed to your spokespersons, you also always have the right to come up and speak. Okay? So if I could have, Commissioner Weiss, do we have any other issues other than Boca Flores? We do. Okay. What other issues do we have pending?
Some I don't know, they're not marked. Some have to do with LaQuinta Hotel.
Okay. Why don't we have, yes, Commissioner? I can't hear you. Okay, okay. Why don't we take animal care and control folks first? Okay? And if you could, we're going to do this in a rather interesting way today. If you are representing issues of animal care and control, if you could come up and state your name, we'll find your card, and then we can proceed with those who are here for the issue of LaQuinta, and then we can proceed with Boca Flores. Okay, and I think we have, I'm sorry? Oh, and we also have folks here from Garcia High School?
Regarding parking.
Okay, so why don't we start with animal care and control first? No?
Yeah, no?
Okay, good. Okay, so if you're here on behalf of Animal Care and Control, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and come up, state your name, and we'll start with the 2-minute warning. Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Céline Thibault. I'm actually a volunteer at Animal Care and Control, Palm Beach County, and I volunteer as a dog walker, and I help with also dog adoption events as well. So I'm here to actually speak on behalf of the facility and what's going on over there. We are very, very grateful for what the staff is doing there. That we have a wonderful team of staff, but we also have so many volunteers because they are short-staffed. And these are some issues that we have been witnessing, and we would like everyone to hear about them because we don't know if you know about them or not. So when I came on board about a year ago, countdown to 0, that's all I heard about, like we are not going to kill any more dogs, we're not going to be a high-kill shelter, and today we actually are euthanasian. We see more euthanasia that we've never seen before because of lack of space. So we do understand that we need the space, but who makes the decision to euthanize a pup? Right now, it's somebody walking by, a manager, somebody who's in charge, and see a pup who's very shy or who's actually barking. Barking sometimes is a way of talking. You're being shy, you just were found on the streets, you don't know what's going on, so that's a normal behavior. We would like for a committee to be formed so that decision is made by a committee or a group of people, not just one person, not based on whatever they're going through that day, but one person cannot make the decision. It should be more than one person, including volunteers, staff members who have spent the time with the dog. The new rule also, the new law that has gone into place right now is we have 48 hours when a dog is put on the list to find a shelter, a foster, or an adopter. 48 hours is impossible. We are all volunteers trying, we put on social media, we call, we make the phone calls. We don't know, we're hoping the team does that too, of course, at the shelter, but right now it's all the volunteers who are saving the dogs the best we can. So we need to have an extension, and maybe there is a right reason for that dog to be on that list, but 48 hours is not enough.
Thank you so much.
Can I have
and
your
thank
name
you for your
again, please?
service.
Céline Thibault, Thibault.
Oh, that's,
Thank you.
this
Thank
is
you.
gonna be- We're not going to be able to do this.
Anybody else from Animal Care and Control? Sure, come on up. State your name.
Hi, I'm Sienna.
Hi, Sienna.
Do you want me to start?
You go right ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sienna. I'm a volunteer at Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control. I'm an animal lover over anything else, and I came today to speak about the conditions these animals are kept in. During my volunteer training, and every time after I've been to the facility, I don't believe there was AC. The rooms where the dogs are kept in kennels are so hot that I thought I was going to faint during my initial training. Sweat was beating down my back within 10 minutes, and all I could think of is, how can we let our animals live like this? On top of that, I have seen cockroaches many times in the areas where these dogs are kept and fed. I know the answer may not be simple, but as the future generation, I am dedicated to change. Thank you all very much for listening, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sienna, for your
Thank
brevity,
you.
too.
Sienna, did you fill out a card?
Yeah, she did. We have it.
Yes, I did.
We have it. We have it. That's okay. Okay, go right ahead.
Mayor, real quick, would you mind, could we have staff do an inspection or something of that?
Sure we
Because
could.
that's awful. Thank you.
Sure we could. And before you speak, Luna, would you like to put this in a formal way? Just say, would you like to direct staff?
I'd like to give staff direction to inspect the site and make sure that the air conditioning is running properly and we don't have cockroaches. Thank you.
There's no air conditioning there. There's no
If
air-
I can say something to that,
Oh,
please.
just 1 second, Luna, just 1 second, Luna. However, and I know Ms. Baker wants to be recognized, there is no air conditioning at the animal shelter. And the issues that have been discussed today need to be addressed, I've been out there personally a number of times, so if you would like to have staff review these issues at Animal Care and Control, I heartily agree, and I think this is something that needs to be done.
I know that a big renovation is coming, but at the same time, I mean,
It won't be for a year or two.
correct. Maybe we can find some temporary solutions.
Okay, I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Regarding the roaches, if somebody
Okay,
can
hold
come.
on just 1 second,
sorry.
Luna. You're going to be recognized, and the time will start. But I think that we have a direction on the floor. Okay, good. Very good. All right. Now you're recognized. Give us your full name.
I'm sorry. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Luna Lemper. Thank you very much, first of all, for being here today and still having this meeting during this very difficult time. I'm here for the animals at Animal Care and Control. And yes, regarding the roaches, if somebody for an inspection could come early in the morning when they first turn on the lights, that's when all the roaches come out. And at night, they eat on the animals' wounds. So I know, we have videos of it and everything. Anyhow, yes, of course, we don't want to say anything bad about the shelter, and I know that staff is doing their best, especially we adore the kennel techs because it's such a hard work. But there are just so many things going on that is heartbreaking for all of us. And even for people that are not really animal lovers, I know it is just unacceptable at this point. All the other points were already made, but I also want to talk about one of the kennels, which is Kennel 2. We don't have any staff in there that takes out the dogs. It's, at this point, unacceptable because this has been going on for years and years and years. If volunteers don't show up to walk the dogs or take the dogs out just to relieve themselves, they will be rotting in their cages all day for days and days. So the poor dogs in Kennel 2 have done nothing. They're pet pal dogs, they're good dogs. And, you know, I'm an animal advocate. I'm not a crazy animal lady. I am a human mother. I'm a professional, but this is just something that I experience every day, and I've been like fighting for so long now. And I've had many meetings regarding this, and all I get is excuses. And it's just it's a shame and it's heartbreaking. Thank you very much, and please help.
We'll be back in touch. Thank you, Luna. Ms. Baker.
I don't want that to go totally unresponded to. We are looking at these issues. We've had an influx of animals, and so we also have to do what is civil for all of the animals. It is a very, very difficult situation we're in right now. And so we've come up with a number of things. We'll continue to work with our volunteers, and I'd like to thank them for working with us because we don't have enough staff to maintain this level of service. I do know that FDO does spray, And so we're going to continue to work on that issue because that is not acceptable. It is not. And so we'll be working on it. And I know Mr. Von Lauren has been working with Ms. Shana Hall on this issue. Come on up, Todd, if you've got something to add. But I don't want our residents to think that we don't love our animals as well. We are in the midst of building a new facility. We've started that process. The board has given us the funds, and so the process does take a minute in order to be resolved. But we do as much as we can possibly do with our animals, partnering with our volunteers, and we will follow up. The rain hasn't helped. I think, you know, even some of us have more critters moving around than normal. It's just been raining, and they're trying to find dry space as well.
And I thank you so much, Ms. Baker, and I know that this has been an issue, but let me just say this. We're moving too slowly on the, Issamy, we're moving too slowly. We bought acreage next to the animal care and control to move some of the animals in the air conditioning. We're giving that man a year to remediate. We're moving too slowly. And we're killing dogs every day, not just dogs, but cats and other critters. So what we need to do is I heartily, and though I can't second anything, but I heartily agree that we need to take a look into it. Todd Von Lauren has been with me every time I've gone over there. I've heard promises. Maybe we need to do more to help our animal care and control. These are Palm Beach County dogs. This is our facility. We need to take care of them. No, the cockroaches have been there for a while, and they're just getting worse. And no air conditioning. Kennel 2 doesn't have anybody take the animals out. So I welcome a flashlight. And now maybe they're really good. So that flashlight will show how good they are. But we need to get in there with some transparency and see what it is we can do for these animals, because we are moving too slow. Mr. Von Lauren, go ahead. You're recognized.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. And the administrator did share a few items of thought. First, I wanted to say, we could not operate without our volunteers at Animal Care and Control. They are one of the most valuable components that we have in terms of making sure that our animals get out, are exercised, and they are just an incredibly important part of the entire process for us. So I couldn't overstate that anymore, and I do want to thank them wholeheartedly for the work that they do. They are as committed as any employee that we have to the mission that we have at Animal Care and Control. I wanted to thank you, Mayor, a number of members of this board who've been incredibly active and supporters of our animal care and control activities and adoptions and spaying and neutering. All of you, I just want to thank for that support as well. We do take these things very seriously. Obviously, we've had a number of incidents and a number of calls over particularly the last year or so with overcrowding at our kennels and getting them out as quickly as we can to find homes, both from a fostering perspective on the short term and adopting on a long term. We have over 60 events that we have planned between now and the end of the year that we're working on in terms of adoptions. We were able to adopt one of our animals just this past weekend at Fire Rescue when we were out there. So we're looking at every opportunity that we can. In terms of some of the issues on the cooling and the heat, we do recognize that, you know, sometimes it can get warm in there, but we do have, you know, some remedies in place in terms of air conditioning units that we have on a temporary basis and fans to try to circulate and move some of that air. I'll go back and I'll look into that even further with our team to see what we can do in the immediate term as we're looking at some of those plans that this board has been supportive of in moving forward with the renovations at Animal Care and Control. So I thank the board for their support, and we will work with Issamy and the team as best as we possibly can to expeditiously move some of these items forward.
Thank you, Mr. Von Lauren. Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. Lastly, Administrator Baker, I'd like for us to look into, if we do not have enough staff to get these dogs out of there, or volunteers, or both, we need to look at potentially soliciting a vendor of sorts, a dog walkers or something, because they can't be stuck in these cages for days on end. That's not healthy for them, or...
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll take a look into it, because I know they need help. We're here to help. And it's not good there. But you have very good people Jan Steele is excellent. She's always responsive. Stephanie from administration is very good. We got great volunteers. We got great people in this county, and we're going to extend that goodness to our animals.
And our partners out
Right.
there have been great to work with as well.
Absolutely,
And,
so-
you know, at different kennels
Good,
that we
good.
have and adoptions. I will just note one thing. I mean, we are the only open admission shelter that we have. So, I mean, we take any dog that comes in and any dog that, or cat or other animal, livestock that's presented to us. So we have a tremendous responsibility in the community to handle those kinds of things. But we want to make sure that we help all of our dogs, all of our cats, any livestock that we have, and our doors have been open to them, and we rarely close them down to calls of need that we have in the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bonlaren. Okay, we don't have Commissioner Weiss. I believe we've exhausted those for ACC, for Animal Care and Control. And Commissioner Baxter, did you say you had a couple of folks here for parking lot or something?
Yes, if you are here in regards to the parking around the high school, Garcia High School, I believe it's Brandy, should be here. Ah, there she
Seeing
is.
no one, then,
Yep, they're
oh, you
here.
are? Okay, very fine. Did you make a card out? Yes, okay. Come on up and state your name. You have 2 minutes.
My name is Brandy Walker.
Okay?
We also have a petition we would like to request that you receive and file.
I need you to speak into the microphone. I can't hear you.
We have a petition that we would like for you to receive and file, if that's okay. We
I'll
brought
make
that
the
with us.
motion.
I think what we need to do is just pass that to the clerk or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Okay.
Go right ahead.
We also submitted a video through Commissioner Baxter's office that we would like to request be played while our second speaker is talking.
I don't know if that has been approved. Has it, Commissioner Baxter? A video?
Was it
has
sent to
been.
the mayor's office,
According
John?
to it has been? Okay,
Yeah.
go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, thank you. My name is Brandy Walker, and I'd like to say that I already concur with what the second speaker is going to say as well. We live in the community of Andalusia, just behind the Garcia High School. We're here today to plead for the help of the commissioners in the county regarding the dangerous traffic conditions present up and down the entire length of 47th Place during school pickup and drop-off every single day. It presents daily life safety issues not only for the students, but for other drivers and for the residents of our community. We have provided video proof of the chaos. We have a petition with 184 signatures to plead for the help of the county commissioners to step in and help us in preventing a tragedy, which will inevitably, we feel, bring with it some type of litigious action against our HOA, the high school, and/or the county. Our community entrances and exits are trespassed on, parked on, blocked, and used as areas to make U-turns for parents to pick up their students. The center lane of 47th has turned into a student pickup line, which makes pulling out of our community almost impossible to do so safely. If any of our residents have an emergency during that time, we are quite literally trapped behind all the parents parked waiting to pick up their students in our exits and entrances. This creates an entirely different type of life safety issue for us. I have tried to be part of the solution by changing the time I pick up my daughter from elementary school. This costs me an additional $134 a month. The changes that I have made to avoid leaving my home or returning home during pickup and drop-off have affected my budget, my work, and my child at this point.
Okay, thank you. I think we have the second speaker is going to do the video. Yes, she did. Oh, she did not? Ma'am, I'm sorry. I thought you said you put a card in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you did. Okay. And could you give us your name? So that,
Brandy Walker.
okay, we don't have a card. You could fill out another card, please? I appreciate it. Okay, if we could have, we're going to move quickly here. Second speaker, go ahead and put on the video, sir. Now, first of all, give us your name.
David Arnone.
And did you put a card in?
Well, I did the digital one, but I think I need to do the actual physical card
Right,
here.
okay. Do this and then do the card and submit it to us.
Okay, sounds
Go
good.
right ahead, sir.
Thank you. The video already played, and I agree with everything that Brandy has said, and I'm not going to say everything that she said over again. But our concern is for the students and our safety in our community. We cannot physically leave our community and see around the parked cars that are parked in a no parking zone, a safety zone essentially. It's also hatched markings, white hatched and yellow hatched markings, which mean no parking, but we're missing the signage. The police told us that they cannot enforce, they can give out tickets, but they don't hold up in court because there's no signage. So it's almost like having a stop sign without a stop line, or a stop line without a stop sign. We're putting all of us in danger just because we cannot physically see around the corner and we cannot safely leave our community. We've reached out to the school, and we haven't really been able to get far with them, unfortunately. All we're trying to do is prevent a tragedy. We're both parents, we have kids, we deal with pickup and drop off. We know it's not fun, but there has to be a better way to do it while preserving the laws that we have for traffic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and you're going to submit the card. Commissioner Weiss.
I had a question. You mentioned you talked to the school. Have you talked to the principal there?
We have tried numerous times, emails, phone calls. I haven't received any response from him.
You haven't been able to talk to them?
I haven't. Have you? It's
In response to a letter that our communication officer sent to him, he wrote a letter to the parents that said the homeowners should not be surprised by this. They should have done their research and known that a school was going to be built there. We purchased in 2018. The school broke ground in 2022.
I mean, I just, from I've had issues with, with schools and drop-offs and things like that. Worked together with, and my suggestion would be Commissioner Baxter work with the school.
That's what I was going to say. So we've already reached out to arrange.
Traffic and PBSO.
Yep.
Get them all into one meeting.
In a meeting, but I would also like staff to potentially look at maybe some temporary signage or road improvements or just minimal things around there that we might be able to just let parents know that parking there is
Well, the
not.
signage, our traffic folks can just put up the signs. I would just pull them into the office, and we had that happen, was over in Green Acres, and they said they don't like to put up no parking signs, and we said we'd like to have no parking signs. We got no parking signs.
I will do that then.
Okay, so what Commissioner Weiss said was good. You folks get with your Commissioner Baxter, put a meeting in with our engineering, as well as the school district, and Florida Highway Patrol, or whoever is out there, the sheriff's office. 3 entities will take care of it. Thank you for I appreciate your participation. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. All right. Shall we go to LaQuinta? How many folks here are going to talk about LaQuinta? Just raise your hand. Okay, good. And you all have put in cards? Yes. Yes, okay. So what I'd like to do, and the rest of the folks are here for Boca Flores? Okay. Is there anyone here for other than those 2 entities I just announced? Yeah, I know. I appreciate you. Okay, very good. And sir, okay. You are here on what, sir?
HB 1365.
This is close to my heart. Okay, can you wait here a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I appreciate it, sir. Okay, so let's do LaQuinta, and I'd like for you to pull that down. There you go.
Yes.
And give us your name.
Certainly. My name is Jean Berman, B-E-R-M-A-N. I live in Century Village, and I am opposed to the idea of the county buying LaQuinta Motel. There are several reasons for this. One is, besides the obvious that you're going to be putting people practically right next to one of our entry gates, the second is that this motel has been used by people in Century Village who have relatives that come to visit. If this goes away, where are their folks going to stay that's close by? The third is that this is too large a facility to put homeless or elderly. It's a motel. Everybody gets a room and a bathroom. There's no kitchen facilities. There's no place to put any staff people that would help them. There's a parking lot because, well, it's a motel. They expected people to go in and out with cars. If you have elderly or you have homeless, chances are they don't have cars. Now, granted, on Okeechobee, there is bus service, but to get on the bus, it costs money. And if you're somebody who's impoverished, chances are you don't have the money for the bus fare, particularly not if there's no kitchen facilities and you don't have any place to store food. How are you going to eat? You need to go out every day, 3 times a day, to find some place for food. Or the possibility that somebody's maybe going to bring in a hot plate and there might be a fire. This is not a good idea. Another point to consider here is that this is or was a working motel facility. Motels charge money and they pay taxes. By the county taking over this land, it will go off the tax rolls. We will lose the taxable income from the rooms. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, now, you know, when you applaud, I appreciate, you're right. However, you're taking time away from this gentleman. So I know you could, like, go like this or, whatever you want, but don't make any noise. Otherwise, we can't move forward with the next speaker. And I do want to give you time. I need you to state your name.
My name is Fausto Fabro. I am the president of the United Civic Organization, representing 7,854 unit owners inside Century Village. Last month, our community was made aware of efforts by the county to purchase the LaQuinta Motel, located just outside the Okeechobee Boulevard entrance. On Friday, October 4th, Commissioner Weiss and county staff held a town hall meeting at our clubhouse. We were advised that the intention of Palm Beach County was to convert this motel into a single-room occupancy or housing for seniors. This presentation, however, was very vague, and it was only a draft concept. Questions that need to be answered: if purchased, where is the money coming from? 2, the cost of engineering the study to repurpose the motel, where is that money coming from? The cost to repurpose the hotel, where is that money coming from? And once converted or repurposed, who will oversee and maintain the hotel, and where is that money coming from? So, Mayor, Commissioners, given the lack of a real plan for this property plus the anticipated cost of the purchase and the renovation, UCO is strongly opposed to the establishment of a homeless shelter or any single-room occupancy in front of our gates. From my heart, I sat here being an animal person, and I heard that you have an animal shelter that can't be governed, that doesn't know. What would happen if this hotel goes into the same disrepair as that animal shelter?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
You're recognized. State your name.
Mike Troutman. Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for their time and for what you do. I'm here to talk about the purchase of La Quinta. Keep in mind, I understand homeless is an issue. Also, I understand that law enforcement is daily tasked with their encampments. Their encampments are a symbol of their want to have a better quality of life. That hotel is not going to give them, not at $140,000+ for each room, that are not designed for long-term living, not designed to support themselves properly. Cottages, probably a good idea. You want to let the homeless have a better quality of life and allow them to be able to control their daily activities? That's not the way to do it. That's a bad decision. Not counting the fact that, keep in mind that if we have an influx in 114 rooms at that location, it will also could cause excessive loitering and impede businesses from prospering, which will cause an economic problem for their owners and also for the people that use those services. I believe it's a bad idea. I don't believe not taking care of them, because that is important, that's fundamental. But giving them a quality of life and putting them in a square building, which nobody's going to be able to police. Obviously, my associate spoke earlier, my neighbor, is an issue. So I urge you to find another direction and not to proceed with this. And a caveat to that is the new rule for 3 stories and higher on structures. The engineering report on that could be horrendous. Has anybody thought about that? I thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Sir, thank you. Ma'am, you're recognized.
My name is Susan Druss. It's really something short that I have to say regarding LaQuinta. We feel our security will be in jeopardy. Our property value will go down. Our taxes will go up. And respectfully, no to LaQuinta. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak on LaQuinta? Anybody else? Ma'am, give us your name. You're recognized.
Hi, my name is Belinda Flores. I live at Century Village, and I've been here for 5 years, and I love Century Village. But I do oppose the fact that we are going to have either a homeless situation near us, plus in back of the UCO, what we call UCO, is also going to be low income. And the problem what I see, because I came from Miami, and I know what happens. All this happens is that all of a sudden they all like the idea, then all of a sudden 3 years later, it starts dwindling down because of funds. And then what happens to the people that are in these facilities? Who takes care of them? And all of a sudden, everything starts going down the drain. And then what happens? Then these people start walking around, going into Century Village, which our Century Village residents have come here to Century Village to live either the rest of their lives or have come to just to retire. And this is their life. And not to be able to feel safe in their environment, but then they're going to feel that they need more security. And you know what? And with all these things, with the assessments happening, and like the Commissioner Barrett just mentioned, that's a lot on them. And then something else to be thinking about for them. It's not fair for us to be thinking another problem that we have. And it's not fair. I mean, a lot of us, we came to retire, to relax, and to enjoy until the rest of our lives. And I am opposed to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Flores. Sir, are you here on LaQuinta?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go right ahead, sir. Give us your name.
My name is Mace Greenfield. First, I want to make clear I am neither elected, appointed, nor retained to represent anyone but myself. And I feel that on this project, the most important thing, not just to residents of Century Village, but to all taxpayers of the Palm Beach County, as at the workshop video of September 24th, that was made by Commissioner Baxter, there are less expensive alternatives, and you yourself, Mayor, did re-emphasize that point. There are less expensive alternatives, no matter who would be housed there. That is the most important factor to be considered. Second, if it's going to be done for low-income seniors, I would ask that it is earmarked for that, so that it cannot be used for anyone else, because HB 1365 does not mandate that you buy or create housing for the homeless, but it does require that homeless be provided overnight beds when they are picked up off the streets, and to bring them there. If you've hung out on Clematis Street at night in front of O'Shea's, the homeless come up asking for dollars, change, cigarettes. They pick up cigarette butts out of the ashtrays. People get up from tables. They drink the leftovers of the drinks at the table, and they're going to see old people, in Century Village. They're going to see easy marks to intimidate, and they're going to come in, and maybe I'll have to create a gun club and a neighborhood watch, and if it's legal, have them with walkie-talkies shining shotguns in their rocking chairs in front of their condos.
That's enough. You got to get out in that crowd now. You know.
Saving money of the taxpayers with less expensive alternatives and safety of the residents are the two most important factors. And the one thing that I have been asked to mention from friends of mine that are snowbirds for the months of July, August, September, and October, they are residents of Palm Beach County, they vote in Palm Beach County, but could not be here today, and they oppose the project.
Thank you very much for
Thank you for your time.
colorful remarks. Okay, there's no one here from LaQuinta. We're going to go on to, I know you're on 1365. So I'm going to take you, veteran, all right? And then we're going to move on to Las Flores. Sir, come on up. Take your time. Take your time.
Let me see here.
You're recognized, sir. State your name.
My name is Jack Hall. I happen to be an outreach director for Blueprints Church. I'm very glad you commissioners are here and the mayors are here. Something needs to be done because this bill, HB 1365, that you're not allowed to camp or sleep out or all this kind of stuff. What about the horrific damage that has happened to our fellow people because of the hurricanes? Now they're all breaking the law? Now they should go to jail because of this? This is ridiculous. I contacted Mark Rubio's office and I let him know that a lot of this happened because the drug cartels have created the homeless situation. Make the drug cartels fix it. Take their funds, finances, bank accounts, businesses that they use to launder money, take all of that away from them and create something here in Florida. Let the money stay in Florida. Create something here to help the homeless, to help the elderly. I mean, because something has to be done. I work with thousands and thousands of homeless in and out every week. I mean, I got shut down, ran out of a park, Curry Park, because I'm handing out clothing to the poor. I was threatened with jail because I'm helping the poor and needy. I mean, the homeless, they know what it's like to be poor. They know what it's like to be without. I mean, if you would create some green areas, because they're already in tents, green areas with some porta potties, some temporary showers, some dumpsters, send people in there to vet them. Okay, you're a disabled vet, you got PTSD, you need some help. You're an elderly woman that doesn't have enough Social Security to pay for your own apartment. You need some help. You need some mental help. Send workers in there to vet them so you know who should be there and who should not. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, now we're going to move on to Boca Flores. And if I could have, there are some speakers who will be here representing other homeowners. We can proceed with you as long as you've filled out a card. And now we're going to give you 3 minutes, but you're going to be speaking on behalf of numerous others. And if you want, you want to all go on that one podium? Okay. All right. Tell us your name, sir. And your
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Deverson. I'm a resident of Boca Flores, as are my fellow residents behind me wearing the green shirts. We're here today to call attention to our dire circumstances regarding the only roadway that provides ingress and egress to our community, Vista Del Lago. The roadway is more than 40 years old. It has not seen any improvements in many, many years. The county failed to require the developer to improve the condition of the roadway after it was finished with its heavy construction and before it was abandoned. The roadway is subject to severe flooding in heavy rains. There's no crown, no swales, and the ground is higher than the road surface. Also, the surface is covered with potholes and cracked and missing asphalt from the constant daily use by fire trucks, large trucks, and the everyday traffic normally seen on a public roadway. Do you know of any other county fire station located on a private road? I do not. Vista Del Lago was formerly a county-owned roadway. In order for the developer to purchase the property on which our community was built, the developer, along with the seller and the existing Pines community, came up with a plan to have the roadway become a private road. Brilliant. Their plans became a reality upon the abandonment of Vista Del Lago by Palm Beach County in January of 2018, well before there were any residents living in Boca Flores. After abandonment of Vista Del Lago, the roadway was placed in the name of a homeowners association called Vista Del Lago at Boca Flores Homeowners Association, Inc. Here lies the problem, ladies and gentlemen. There are no homes along Vista Del Lago. This roadway is the only ingress and egress to the following: The Pines of Boca Lago, a condominium association. Boca Flores, a condominium association. Palm Beach County Fire Station number 57. Boca Lago Property Management Company. Home Realty, a real estate office owned by Frankel Associates. A 2-story building which provides housing for some of Boca Lago's landscape employees. And Tennis One, a private entity and leasing the Boca Lago tennis courts. These tennis courts are on both sides of Vista Del Lago, a road with no signage, no sidewalks, no crosswalks, for use by dozens of children and adults who need to cross that road daily. And the soon-to-be-completed pickleball courts. This is certainly a liability, ladies and gentlemen. Vista Del Lago cannot be classified as a private road. The only portion of Vista Del Lago which is private is from our gatehouse back to the Pines and Boca Flores, and it's approximately halfway down Vista Del Lago from Lyons Road. Lastly, we are here.
Now, what we're going to do is you have other folks who will wish to speak. Okay, all right, and thank you, sir.
Thank you for your
Appreciate
time.
that. Okay, ma'am, come on up. You've put in a card, but I want you to say your name. Don't take her time away. She's good. I know this lady. She's sharp. So give us your name.
Pressure.
Right. You should have. Give us your name, and you're recognized.
Mindy Toback, and I am a resident of Boca Flores, together with a board member of the association. And I'm going to speak to some of the background as to how we found ourselves in the situation that we're speaking of today. Boca Flores Condo Association was turned over to the residents from the developer in December of 2021, 4 years after construction began. There was a new resident-run board of directors that was voted in at that time, and we discovered that Vista Del Lago was abandoned by the county and was our financial and legal responsibilities, not something that was disclosed well in any of our documents. In April of 2022, we met with Mayor Sachs and Joanne Keller from the engineering department to discuss the flooding and conditions of this 40-year-old road. During the last 2 years, we continuously requested meetings with the county to discuss the flooding and the conditions of the roadway. Unfortunately, those requests were repeatedly ignored. Due to our fiduciary responsibility to our residents, we had no choice but to file a lawsuit. This was not our preferred choice of direction, but we had to do something. The basis of the lawsuit is, one, that the abandonment of the roadway did not meet the Florida statute requirements, which required that the road be accepted by a homeowners association that meets the definition of a homeowners association per the Florida statutes. The homeowners association was required to have financial means to care for and improve the road. Now, the homeowners association that was established had no homes, so it didn't really qualify as a valid homeowners association. It had no financial statements, it had no cash reserves, it had no money whatsoever. It never filed a tax return, it didn't have a federal ID number. The homeowners association is not and never has been a homeowners association as that term is defined in the Florida statutes. In fact, when Palm Beach County Judge issued an order relating to a motion for summary judgment, the judge stated, and I quote, "There is little question the technical requirements of section 336.125 of the Florida statutes were not met by subject conveyance." We continued to try to resolve this matter with the county after the lawsuit was filed. A mediation was held earlier this year. Our attorneys were present, we hired a mediator, and 3 board members attended all day. The county attorney advised us when she arrived that they were not in any position to have any kind of discussion of a resolution that day.
Next.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, sir, state your name. I hate to take your time. State your name. You're right.
Hi, my name is Philip Studer. I'm a resident of Boca Flores. Our issue is not with the developer. It's with you, Palm Beach County, unfortunately. The county who allowed the developer to plan, manage, and control the abandonment process from start to finish without proper oversight by the county to ensure that the abandonment was legal, equitable, and appropriate. The developer you entrusted was fined $78.7 million in late 2018 by the Attorney General for the state of Florida for violations of Florida's unfair and deceptive trade practices. Apparently, they didn't get their lesson learned because they continued it at our expense. Adjacent landowners and other entities benefiting from Vista Del Lago got together in 2018 and decided what conditions each needed for their sign-off to the Boca Flores project. First is Palm Beach County. You wanted to get rid of a 40-year-old roadway well beyond its useful life to avoid the significant deferred maintenance expense that the county allowed to accumulate. Boca Lago Country Club wanted to sell their land so it could use the millions in proceeds to improve their club. The Pines Condominium Association wanted a private and gated entry for their community. All easements on the same day that the abandonment was done, all easements were provided to those entities that gave them full access and use with no sharing of the costs to maintain and repair that road. That was put on us solely. How is that even fair? It's not. What conditions did Boca Flores get from all this? A 40-year-old roadway well beyond its useful life. It had less than $10,000 in improvements made by the county over the last 30 years, and we've got FDOT reports to confirm that. A road that floods every time it rains, a road that is sinking in several locations, causing cars to swerve so they don't bottom out. The county clearly favored the developer at the expense of its citizens, us, all the people back here in green, when we were not even in existence at the time that those deals were going down. Never in a million years did I think Palm Beach County, the premier county in the state of Florida, my county, would play such a significant and complicit role in allowing this abandonment process to take place the way it did by the developer. The purpose of government is to serve the people and protect their rights. The county failed us miserably. The county served the developer's interest over ours and did not protect our rights. October 2nd, you all received, along with the county attorney's office, a proposal letter from us, a compromise solution. It is the only fair and appropriate solution for the county to correct its own egregious error. Private and public coming together to solve an issue. That's what we're proposing. That's what we have tried since April 20th of 2022. And pardon the pun, but we have had roadblocks thrown up in front of us for the last 3 years, and we're tired of it. What we are asking the county to do is to direct the county staff to get this done. Our proposal is fair, and it's appropriate, and it's what the commission needs to do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Sir, would you give us your name?
Yes. Yes, my name is Steve Landy, and I am a resident of Boca Flores. I'd like to take just a second to thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioner Weiss, for your opening remarks on Israel and anti-Semitism. It was much appreciated. Thank you.
Welcome.
You get the abridged version, but I think a lot of it's been said. By now, I'm certain that each of you is generally aware of this situation. And you're also aware that our small group of loyal Palm Beach County tax-paying homeowners has had to bring a lawsuit to try to straighten out this unfortunate situation. Although a great amount of time, effort, and expense haven't gotten us as far as we wish it had with the legal process, the case is pretty straightforward. There is a very specific state law and a process that must be followed if a public road is to be abandoned by the government and conveyed to an HOA. For reasons that may be known to others, but certainly not to us, in this case, the requirements in the process were largely ignored. While there may be benefits to the developer and the county from the abandonment, there was certainly no benefit to the Boca Flores homeowners, and there can be no excuse for ignoring the law. On the basis of that, we've been seeking to have the abandonment of Vista Del Lago reversed. Personally, I wish there'd been time to bring this matter to the attention of the board before the lawsuit was filed, but by the time we discovered the abandonment and figured out what had happened, we were awfully close on the statute of limitations. I should also note that our efforts to mediate have been unsuccessful. Like our case, my point today is also pretty straightforward. What's happened here isn't right and doesn't really even make sense. It's not legal, and it's certainly not fair to this group of your constituents. I don't believe this is the way Palm Beach County does business, or believe that it's the way you want to have your business done. The Board of County Commissioners has access to all the records and the court file and plenty of good legal advice. You have the power and the authority to make this right. I ask that you please look into the situation a little deeper and see if you don't agree. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, sir. Sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Rich LaCure, a member of Boca Flores Condominium Association. The abandonment of Vista Del Lago imposed an obligation of $12,500 to each of the 120 housing units. $1.5 million renovation costs. It has to be rebuilt, divided by the 120 units. $12,500. Pretty good piece of change. Here's another way to look at it. If you take that 1.5 million, divide it by the 726,000 households in Palm Beach County, you get the princely sum of $2.07. 120 households are paying $12,500 to save 726,000 households $2.07. We're taxpayers. We pay our taxes on time, our real estate taxes. We pay them willingly because Palm Beach County has a lot of good things to offer. But here, let's face it, we're getting screwed, okay? That's the only way to put it. I don't know who at the county engineered this in 17, 18. We weren't here. A mistake was made. Let's just assume a mistake was made, an honest mistake. A mistake was made, fine. But you all have the ability to correct that mistake. So please do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hi.
Ma'am, state your name.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Joanne Belletti, and I'm a resident of Boca Flores. I'm a retired nurse practitioner, and I worked for 40 years. I carefully planned my retirement so that I would be financially secure and as stress-free as possible. I bought a new home in Boca Flores with the thought that it would be my forever residence. I looked forward to visiting and traveling with family and friends as my retirement years unfolded. But now I find that what I thought was a financially secure and reduced stress-free being compromised by a road that never should have been a financial burden to a community of predominantly retired residents on a fixed income. I am emotionally and financially stressed over this situation. It is not possible for me to own my own home and contribute to maintaining a road that is the county's responsibility. Please think about our quality of life and resolve this issue and free us from this unfair burden. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, state your name, please.
My name is Lynn Humphrey. I'm a resident of Boca Flores. My husband Gary and I left our home in Santa Barbara, California, and moved to Boca in 2020. We relocated to Boca Flores as my husband became more and more ill. Before leaving Santa Barbara, he was diagnosed with white matter brain disease and vascular dementia. For those of you who are familiar with friends or family who have dementia, you know how devastating this illness can be. During the 5 years that Gary's illness progressed, he became more and more susceptible to falls, and this became my greatest fear. Shortly after moving to Boca Flores, he did fall one evening in our home. I immediately called my daughter and son-in-law, who live not far away. They're really the reason we moved here, so we'd be closer to them, and they jumped in their car to travel to our home. Unfortunately, I had only lived in Boca Flores for a short time. I was unaware that after a day of heavy rainfall, the road would become impassable. I was unaware that there were no storm drains on that road that would prevent flooding, and I was unaware that the road was in serious disrepair. I learned all of those things that night when my kids could not get through to help us, and we ended up calling paramedics. Not a great use of taxpayer dollars, I might add. We had been in our home maybe another 2 weeks when Gary fell again. This time he broke his hip, this time he didn't recover, and he passed away 3 days after Thanksgiving last year. We're private citizens. This is not only a problem that I'm facing, it's a problem for every resident of Boca Flores.
Thank you so much for this heartfelt.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eugenia Salin. Me and my husband are retired. We bought place in Boca Flores in 2020 without any knowledge about huge issue with the Vista Del Lago road. The last 2.5 years, the road problem is costing us, the members of the Boca Flores, an enormous amount of money. Our board have tried unsuccessfully to resolve this issue with the Palm Beach County many times. We pay our real estate taxes. You are our elected official. Now we are asking the commissioners to serve and protect the people of this community and act in good faith. Our board did a lot of research and investigation to resolve the road issue. Today, the supposedly private road is used by very heavy fire trucks and other heavy machinery. It's often flooded, and it causes safety issue to the residents. How could owners of condo association be responsible for a formerly county-owned road, especially when it served county fire rescue station, sales and property management company, tennis academy, country club, and another COA? All these entities existed for decades. Boca Flores only came to existence at turnover in December of 2022. Now, as a homeowners, we must reveal pending litigation and special assessment when homes being listed. This is a burden for us, and it's negatively impacting ability to sell our units. 120 55-plus owners on fixed income being financially strapped to fight Palm Beach County. Why did the county violate its own mission? Where is the culture of excellence that achieve measurably high level of public satisfaction? We are asking Palm Beach County to act decisively when mistakes occur and make the portion of Vista Del Lago Road public again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, come on up, state your name.
Hi, Robin Abrams. I'm not very good at public speaking, so please forgive my nervousness here. Thank you for your comments about October last year. We're just here succinctly because we need your help in helping us get out of this. That's why we're here. We're not looking to put blame. We're not looking to make it difficult. We just haven't been heard, and we need your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those brief remarks. Ma'am, come on up and state your name.
My name is Monica Benedict, and I come to speak about HB 1365.
I know your card was mistaken. You wanted to speak about 1365. You go right ahead. I know you're not speaking on behalf of Boca Flores. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Well, as a citizen of Palm Beach County, I've been called by God to go and reach for the homeless, pray for them, lift them up, and I have seen families living in the car, and homeless camp, and they're in the parks hiding, like in situation that's not human, but God called them human, and God wants us to care for them. And it's going to bring joy to the heart of God if we all care for the homeless and for the people, because they are not just homeless. They are people that God creates in secret places in heaven. And I would like to say thank you for you guys to look for a place for them, because as I pray and I lift them up, I see so much brokenness on them, and I'm thankful that God is working on your hearts and breaking your hearts for what is breaking God's heart, to not see is a person, and let's help them, If this place would be a place of transition, that they'll just spend a week and then go just to, like, some families, for example, they are leaving their car on the streets, maybe it would be a place that they'll just stay for 5 days until you get a place for them that is appropriate for a family. But anyway, you guys know better than me. I only know how to pray and how to lift them up. But you guys know how to make laws. You guys have a vision, and I trust you because you're sitting on the chair. That's why we trust you. So I'm thankful for your life, and I bless you in Jesus' name.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your help with the homeless. Ma'am, state your name, you're recognized.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Marcello, and I live in Boca Flores. I am recently retired from 36 years teaching at Pinecrest School. Everybody has mentioned this afternoon Hurricane Milton, and I cannot tell you how afraid I am that we are going to get heavy rain from that hurricane. I have not lived in Boca Flores during a hurricane. I cannot drive my low-lying car through the streets of Vista Del Lago. It won't go. I had a major doctor appointment. I don't have an SUV. I tried to drive my car down the road. I went up the embankment to avoid the floods. My car got stuck in the mud. I'm a widow. I live alone. I had to turn around. I had to call Uber to take me to the doctor. Sometimes at school, I had to ask if I could leave early because I didn't think I was able to get home from the flooded roads. So I really implore you, please, I don't even care about the potholes. I don't care about the condition of the road. Somehow we need more drains. I don't know now when I'm going to leave my house after this hurricane, and I have a new granddaughter that I have to help my son with in Boynton Beach. But I cannot drive my car when that road is flooded because it's dangerous. So I appreciate your help with this. I really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, state your name, please.
Thank you. My name is Scott Stites. I'm also a resident of Boca Flores. I appreciate everything you have to do. I retired after 35 years with state and municipal government, so I understand budgets and politics, and I appreciate everything you're doing to try and help everybody. With a 49-page agenda to deal with, it's obvious that you have spent a lot of time here today and that you rely on your county staff for the recommendations and the work so you can make these tough decisions. But what if they were wrong? What if they missed something? What if it was something even more serious? It appears in this case that somebody on your staff might have thought it was a good idea to let someone else pay to maintain a road that needs over $1 million worth of repairs and fix a big budget hole. The first half, as you've heard, was a battalion headquarter fire station. The rescue trucks that countlessly roll in and out of there are over 10 tons apiece. The fire truck without water is over 30 tons, and they're constantly pounding that road. We're supposed to pay for it? Think about recommending a road that 1.5 million county residents were having a hard time supporting should now be supported by a community of 55 plus 120 units. I don't think of myself as elderly, but my PCP tells me that I'm in the geriatric population now. I didn't really feel vulnerable and consider myself elderly until this happened. And living on a fixed income and all of a sudden be handed with a $12,000 assessment for something that the county should be maintaining, the $2 per taxpayer. Florida Chapter 336 allows abandonment to a homeowners association, not a condo association. And that's very clear. What's a homeowners association? A corporation responsible for the operation of a community. The VDL corporate filing says it's to maintain the road. There are no homes on the property, as you've heard. It's a homeless homeowners association. So I'm asking, is the policy of Palm Beach County to allow the abuse of elderly? Because that's really what's happening here. Thank you.
Comments, sir. I believe we're done now. We're going to end with the advocate. Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, honorable commissioners and county administrator, county attorney, and all the staff that's here. Thank you for listening to us. I represent Boca Flores. Again, my name is Neil Schiller, Government Law Group, 137 Northwest 1st Avenue in Delray Beach. You see and you've heard all of these stories, and they're emotional. I think they're frustrated and emotional, and how really can you blame them? Vista Del Lago floods. Vista Del Lago wasn't maintained. But most importantly, Vista Del Lago was half private and half public. And they've sent you a resolution or a compromise, a settlement to take over the private portion that they're responsible for. They will continue to take care of and maintain, and ask that the county take care of and maintain the public portion of Vista Del Lago. I know it may break precedent, I know it may break norms, but I think you will agree this is a very unusual and unique situation. and that we have 125 homes paying for a road that not only is their only ingress and egress, but is another community's only ingress and egress, and they're bigger. They're 250 units to our 125. So we hope today that we can move forward with the county and try to figure out a compromise so that the flooding can stop ASAP and these people can get in and out of their homes without worry that their car is going to flood, that they're going to hit a pothole and bend a rim. I mean, I'm not going to repeat everything. Thank you so much. I hope everybody stays safe during the storm.
Thank you so much, Mr. Schiller. Let me say, okay.
No.
Well, all right, you.
No.
If you'd like to, you can come up and take
It's
this. Go right ahead.
short.
State your name.
Madam Mayor and dear Board of Commissioners, thank you for listening to me. I'm a retired senior from Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved and bought a home here at Boca Flores, realizing that there might be some financial obligations from hurricanes and so forth, but I didn't realize that there would be financial obligation for this public road. So I agree to pay my taxes, as usual I do, and is it fair that my life savings would be responsible for a road? It seems that it's unfair that the county should turn over the road to our homeowners to maintain, and I'm just asking, is it fair and is it right? Thank you.
Could you give us your name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Jan DeHaven, and I have a
Card. You have it with you. You're gonna, okay, you'll pass it over to, let me just say this. I want to thank everybody from Boca Flores. We cannot respond to your arguments upon advice of counsel. Is that correct, Ms. Kaufman?
Absolutely.
Okay, Commissioner Baxter, did you want to say something very carefully?
I kind of want to get the opinion of my board. We seem to have a few now that have come up that have some litigation going on. And it seems to always be the stance to never say anything. And in the meantime, we just let people suffer? Is that what we do?
Well, rather than, no. I'm going to ask the members, I'm going to ask the members of the board if they would like to say something to first confer with the county attorney. This is matters by the public, and I feel very strongly that the public has a right to come and talk to us. We also are being sued by an entity, and upon advice of counsel, we cannot say anything. So with that in mind, and Commissioner Bernard, did you want to consult with Ms. Kaufman before you say anything?
Well, Madam Mayor, I know for me, it's just like, I'm struggling because, the residents are here and wrong is just wrong. But I'm allowed to speak. I'm just, what I'm not sure about is, I would like to know whether or not fire is, like Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, do we have a station there? Am I allowed to ask that question? Because I'm not sure.
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. We were advised by counsel not even to have you here. And I really believe that you have the right to be here. Now, I've spoken to counsel, Mr. Schiller. Mr. Schiller has spoken to every one of the commissioners with counsel present. If we say anything, it could hurt your case. So I always believe philosophically that you have the right to come to a public meeting, okay? But you're suing us, which you have the right to do. You have the right to do. We want to fix this. We want to fix this. We want to fix it with the help of counsel. And even though we were advised not even to have you come because we can't say anything to you about it, I just think you had the right to come here. We listened to you. We will be involved with council as county commissioners to make sure that this wrong will be right. Now, I know it happened many years ago. We weren't here, all right? And some of you may have been here, but the bottom line is that you feel like you have a wrong, and many of us agree with you. But we're not going to opine on that publicly because it would hurt your lawsuit. So what I want to say is I want to thank you for being here. I heard you. I heard the legal arguments, but they were not as strong as your emotions. Your emotions are heartfelt. I had tears in my eyes hearing some of these. I appreciate you being here. You will help your cause. You helped your cause by being here and speaking to us. And so I want to thank you very much. We will try to find a speedy end to this. We're working with our council, and we will try to find, and I know there isn't anybody up here, and I can't even ask them that, but I'm sure that we were all very touched by a wrong that was done many years ago. And we'll make sure that we do everything in our power, if possible, to
If
make
there
it
was a wrong
happen.
done.
Right, right.
If there
What
was
we're
a
going
wrong
to do,
done.
what we're going to do, and this was as a courtesy to you and to your advocate, to have you speak, and I'm glad we did. Now, we have one more speaker who's been here for a while, and that's Alexandra Larson. Miss Larson is always here. She's been very patient, but she wanted to speak. I'm going to recognize her, and then we'll move forward. Commissioner Baxter, did you still have your light on?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you wish to speak? Do you want to speak with council first?
No.
Okay.
More of a legal question, because you had said that we are not allowed. Is that not our choice?
No, it isn't your choice. You don't have a choice. This is a case where this is the law, and we will follow the law. I don't want to hurt your case. So if you wish to speak to any commissioner with counsel, you're welcome to. Believe me, you're welcome to. You have a constitutional right to do that. But if we talk now, then we're going to hurt your case. I don't want to hurt your case. So we heard you, but more importantly, we felt you. We felt you. Sometimes what you say is not half as important as what you feel. We felt you, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you. So I'm going to ask Ms. Larson, who's always here with us. Go ahead.
I'm an angel flying over the county. Anyway, commissioners, I wanted to talk about Wellington. A bad wrong was done, and my grandmother always told me, if you're aware of a crime, you better report it because you're just as guilty as the person who committed the crime. And the crime is they did annexation on 19 votes. They violated the state chapter, they violated our county charter. Staff told me, and I will not name names, you all know that already, told me that everybody was aware of this crime before it was committed. And I think we need to go back to the drawing board and deal with annexations, because Wellington's planning on putting industrial and all kinds of wonderful things right near the base of the acreage, Loxahatchee Groves, white fences, Deer Run, Lion Country Safari. We deal with the lions and stuff. I can deal with lions. I can deal with lions, tigers, and bears. I can't deal with bad government, because I was here the day that they said, well, we're going to let these 19 people vote. Well, 19 people should not vote. They're not you, commissioners. You're elected, and you're supposed to represent us. And that's the fair way of government. But the way that the annexation with Wellington was done was a crime. And Mr. Basehart sat at the last Wellington meeting, and he said, we know we violated the charter. We know we violated the state statute, and nobody can do anything about it. You can go back and look at the video if you like, but I'm paraphrasing, but that was pretty much it. And I think that's something that we need to look at, because some of the stuff that's going on in the world is really bad, and what's really funny, I'm terrified of the hurricane for y'all, because this room missed, I don't know if Radini ever told you, this room was gone during one of the current hurricanes. It disappeared. And a couple of things that are going on in our world, SpaceX keeps shooting off rockets, and one of them blew up in our stratosphere and put a hole in it the size of Australia about 6 weeks ago. So I think you all know Senator Nelson, he heads NASA. You should tell him maybe they should ground the rockets until they find out why it blew up and put a hole in our stratosphere, because our storms suddenly got really bad. And it was a superstition of my grandpa with the rockets, not mine, but it seemed pretty relevant right now, because I've never seen black, purple, and red commissioners of a hurricane. These storms, this one's gonna be a nightmare, and we really don't know where it's going. I love the spaghetti. I want us to be able to do everything with spaghetti. I'll just throw it up against the wall. But I appreciate your time and patience, and I really do, commissioners. I do not want to make a federal case, but I will. Virginia knows me. There was something I didn't want near my home a long time ago. It didn't go there. we went to Club Fed. And I really do agree with federal more than anything else, but I really hope one of you or all of you will look at Wellington, thumbing their nose at all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
and the people that are suing, Pulte's the builder, so sue the builder.
I know. Sometimes out of the mouth, babes. Ms. Kaufman, you have something to say.
I just wanted to clarify for the record, Mayor, you had mentioned that a wrong was done to them, and I think you meant that the developer did a wrong. And I just wanted to clarify that. Is that what you meant?
Not only did I mean it, but I said it before, that we should, may I give my little unprofessional legal opinion that we should be suing Pulte or somebody who started all of this. But I'm not the attorney on it, and I respect my colleagues. It's difficult to listen to folks and not want to give an opinion.
And I totally wanted to say, I totally get it. We can talk to each one of you individually, get direction and et cetera. However, if this board starts deciding lawsuits and meetings, then everybody with a problem will be asking you to resolve litigation in meetings. And we did not sue them. They sued us. So that doesn't mean that that we won't do our very best for them. And we'd be happy to come and talk to you all more about it.
Also, when a wrong is done, it usually means there's litigation.
Absolutely.
When there's litigation, there's a wrong that was done.
Right, but in this
So in the
case,
record,
right.
it could reflect that a wrong was done, and that's why we have litigation.
That's correct.
So,
by the
thank you,
developer.
colleagues, for listening and working so hard today on a day that we should be going home and making sure that everybody is safe. So with that, if nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Be safe.